Okay, that's a very good question. It's a very good question and also a complex question. Here, particularly in our own context, Nigeria, we don't value talents. We don't value talents. And that's why a lot of people do it their own way. For example, there's a case of a boy who just invented aeroplane that can fly. Locally, he assembled the content, local content, and nobody's giving the boy attention. In an advanced country like America, that's how robotics are built. That's how engineers are hunted. People who have flair do not have the means to develop their talents. We are not government is not interested in developing people. The human capital development is deficient here. If you look around the Nigerian context, even people who can sing from their youth, they don't develop such talents. People who can actually dance, they don't develop such. People who can run. There are a lot of things, a lot of potentials in Nigeria. We have a lot of people who can do well in sports. We have a lot of wrestlers. We have a lot of speakers. We have a lot of people who can do very well. But where there is no means, people devise a way to survive. Survival here is the survival of the fittest. The fittest, if you can't hear me, if mountain will not move for Muhammad, Muhammad will have to move for the mountain. If government will not recognize my talent, then let me do it the other way. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of skill to go through the internet. It takes a lot of conviction to convince somebody to fall into fraud. And anybody who falls into internet fraud must be greedy. That's it. It's a bait. It's a bait. It's like you give me 1,000 naira, I give you $10 million. How? You don't need $10 million? So why are you betting with your 1,000 naira? So the question now is, the drawing board is, we need to do a mapping. If we do a contour, look at our map, look at our strategies. How do we arrest youthful restlessness, youthful exuberance? What is wrong in our society? But there is, at the moment, youths have nobody to copy. We don't have role models again. We do not have. We don't have role models in the universities. We don't have role models in hotels. We don't have role models in churches. Everybody has become fraudulent. And that's a very difficult situation. Government itself is not realistic. How can government know that something is wrong, have a policy to guard such, and the government itself will go to that extent of violating its own law? So we live like there is no law. And that is what Thomas Hobbes described as nasty. Yes. And British. So I think the problem should be self-probing. If we have government, do we have policies that are directed to the well-being of the citizens? Or we have policies that are self-centered? How can someone, okay, as a young man, how would you watch somebody defraud government $1 billion or 1 billion naira? 1 billion naira, one person. And then somebody, a first degree holder, cannot earn comfortably 50,000 naira a month. He can't even see any job. Now, how do you expect a youth, after learning some skills, he has no money to start off? Don't you expect the person to survive? So what I'm saying in this media is that until our government become real, because at the moment, government is not real. Our government is not real. We don't have a defined objective. We don't have a goal that this is where we are going. We have no economic goal. We have no political goal. In fact, our laws are deformed. That's the truth.
So can we say this is more or less an institutional problem?
It is an institutional problem.
So recently, a minister was suspended.
Yes.
For defrauding of a minister was recently suspended for making away with some billions of naira.
Good.
Just within a space of 3 months.
Good.
So is there an institutional problem?
It's an institutional problem. Policies don't work. And where policies don't work, policy, principle must work. Policies change but principles don't change. What is the character of the people you are appointing? And what is the character of the appointee? How did the person go to authority? That person who appointed the person, how did the person get to authority? Because if the infrastructure of any setup is weak, the superstructure must surely be unreliable. So we need a self-probing. If the foundation of any setup is weak, the superstructure must surely be unreliable. That is to say, you can't place something or nothing and expect it to stand. Who appointed the person? And the implication simply is that that person is no longer in the good record of the person who appointed him or her. We have legions of people who are in public places siphoning what belongs to the people. And that is the sanity of the mind. I think Nigeria is bisected with an identity dilemma of who actually owns Nigeria. It's not a question of policy. There are legions of policy framework, but the policy frameworks are self-centered. Self-centered, this is your chance. Look at what happened recently. A man said, grab it, take it, run with it. Is that a policy? And we all watched. That is really laughable. It's ridiculous to find out that we have no elders again. And government itself is not helping matters because you get to the throne by all means, then you rule by all means. That's it. Our Lord Salem.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
Can we say that Nigerian state is irredeemable, or is there still a way we can redeem our nation? And if there is, can you make a recommendation, sir?
Yes, I will make a recommendation. If we need to go back to the drawing board, I would suggest we go back to the national anthem. That's my starting point. The old national anthem, space it out. Not the new national anthem. The new national anthem has no content of what this country is all about. It's an invention of, I don't know who invented it, but it does not carry the principle of national growth or nationhood. Two, we need to carry moral consciousness. We need to go back to morality. Without morality, we are dead and gone. Principles are there. For example, there's nothing you can do to change day and night. That's a principle. But there's something you can do to change people's mind. If you make public office very, very unattractive, a lot of people will go away. For example, if a councillor is earning, 50,000 naira a month, who wants to be a councillor? Yeah. Because the councillor should be paid commensurate with the person's qualifications. If a professor is earning, so for example, 1 million naira a month, then a lot of people will be lured to go and study so they can become professors in their various fields. 3, if Nigeria will begin to appreciate honesty, that truth is rewarded, then you have seen in the past where somebody will pick somebody's money and the public will reward the government will reward the person. Who picks money now and government rewards? When last did you hear that somebody picked money in a place and the person returned it and the person was rewarded? If you can't be rewarded, then somebody will find a way of rewarding him or herself. So the game is now, it is our turn, and your turn is a turn of the national king, and that is not a happy matter. So people who come to authority must come with clean hands. Nigeria should look at the people they elect into office. But I think our major problem now, which is hydra-headed, is that we do not look at character anymore. We look at source, means. Does this person have money? Whether the person killed or not. We don't look at the record. We don't look at the source of the income. We don't look at the source of the fund. Everybody likes anyone who has money. And that's madness. A society where people do not probe. How did you come to, for example, what will you do outside to have $1,000 in your pocket? How? But today, in Nigeria, nobody asks you how much you have. Even a teacher who is earning 200 naira or 2,000 naira a month, if you see him with a Ferrari, costing a lot of money, nobody will ask questions. So when we start asking ourselves questions, and government sends a policy that will guide the people, the conduct of the people, then Nigeria will begin again. At the moment, we are on the crossroads, and I think God will help us.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay. Thank you for sharing amazing ideas and insights. believe that the government will get to see this and then put this wonderful ideas into place and our country become a better place.
Thank you for
Look forward
having me.
to seeing you next time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.